This is the original X-Carve as it comes right from the factory. And that's how it looks kind of close up where the spindle mounts to the spindle frame. This is a 3D rendering of it. As you can see, the original X-Carve, the spindle mount, where it actually mounts to the frame there. It used to ride, the original one had 4 wheels that rode up and down on that spindle carriage. And it's all right design, but they used hobbled nuts, so all 4 of those wheels you needed to adjust all the time to keep them tight. Otherwise, after a few times going up and down, they'd get a little loose, and what would happen was you'd get axial movement in your router. It's a DeWalt 611 router is what it comes with originally, and that axial movement would end up giving you, not a perfect cut. You spend all that time designing something in the software, and you're designing it to exacting specifications, and then you'd go to cut something and you'd be off by 2-3 millimeters sometimes, because when you're trying to make a rounded cut and your machine's doing a XY movement at the same time, and your bit hits something and it kind of drags the motor down a bit. Well, if those wheels weren't all perfect, tight, aligned, everything, it would drag the spindle, and it would move it, in an axial direction. It would just screw everything up, and it was no good for cutting aluminum or anything like that. So I figured there had to be a better solution to that. So I found one of these. Hooray me! This is a much better solution. So after that, I figured I'd put a better spindle on it when my DeWalt 611 shit the bed. So this is the new spindle mount that I bought. Obviously, it was kind of too big for my machine, so I took away a little weight by drilling some holes in it. I started drilling holes and tapping holes just so that I could mount it to my X carriage. And that's the plate from the X carriage, just drilling some countersinks for the holes. There's my countersunk holes that I drilled. Those are the mounts to mount it. I was just checking to make sure that those holes were deep enough. And I put a little bit of blue thread lock on there. Make sure those stay there. That's the kind of the finished product once I got done doing all that. And there it is, mounted back on the X-Carve with the spindle mounted in it. And then if you notice that blue hose, that's for air and water for my machine.